At a crossroads, every inch, meter and mile matters. There can be no stragglers, as two recent finalists of this popular competition, Stellenbosch FC and AmaZulu, hope to go one step closer to lifting the crown. Wafa, wafa. You know what else? Wafa is the temperature. It is cold here in the mother city, where I'm sure there'll be very little brotherly love except from those that you see in the fans. The Stellenbosch cohort are here. They've checked in. They are present to reconnect again with the old team. Well, for AmaZulu, not too much support that we can report, but there are some traveling fans here and there. But what it's all about, it's a quarterfinal time at Stellenbosch. AmaZulu, Richards Bay and Sundowns vie to join already qualified semi-finalists Orlando Pirates and Sekhukhune United. Head on welcome Kuma Sava Savabia Jambo as well to our Swahili speakers. Raskalebala Dumalang Sunny Bonani. Football is back. Fellow champions, I greet you in the name of champions. We're here in the business of crowning champions. The team from the Winelands and KZN's Old Guards will meet in MTN 8 for the first time, and we are live from Greenpoint's DHL Stadium as Diego Perral is in shot there as well. As this mega dome of a stadium hosts only the second ever local cup meeting between these two sides. The Cape Winelands side went all the way to the final of the 2024 version, if you remember, Usutu reaching the final 2 years prior. Well, Steve Barker's first 11 for the season doesn't see too many new faces. In fact, it's plenty of experience and a bit of know-how. They know each other quite well. St. Stephen's skippers the side in what is his 9th, or rather 8th MTN 8 encounter. He'll be hoping for a fit clean sheet. The likes of Brendan Muleisani at the center for defense with Atinkosi Ngaba, Andre de Jong and Ashley Cupido continue their relationship up top. Can they continue their relationship with the back of the net? Devon Titus has turned from a boy to the main man for that man you see in picture. He'll be flanked by Wesley Siegel and assistant coach Evangelos Velios. All for AmaZulu, Arthur Zwane and Sponiso Vilarazi, as well as Simon Dlantla, have worked for a bit of a surprise, and starting off from the off, Ryan Moon, a new debutant to lead the line for Usutu Mapeshankoni. Will he provide the sharpness to the spear that Usutu bring to the table? Keegan Allen as well gets a start for his new side. I mean, played only 90 minutes prior to today's MTN 8 quarter-final for his former club. He joins from Richard Spate, Bohoma Shicho, and Kosingkhona Khatebe as well in the side. They do have a 16-year-old on the bench to AmaZulu. Here's coach Sean Bartlett with his thoughts and how they line up.
Yeah, good afternoon, Temba. It's always great to be here. You know, Stellenbosch looking to kickstart their season, where unfortunately they lost this competition in the final against Orlando Pirates. But it's a new team in the sense of having lost a few players in Basadine and Torre. But I think Moon and De Jong will do well up front. Ofore and Allen, that combination obviously need to work. Even though Allen will be on the right-hand side today, I think their experience will obviously count a lot for AmaZulu, with Ryan Moon leading the line, and hopefully his physical presence will cause some problems.
And continuing with the Moon theme, will they be shooting for the stars this time around? Coach Bartlett and Michael Musimeng is the man that is going to be heading that four-man quartet. Smokela Jalo, Smele Mabuto and Jerome Dalen as well. Yeah, Keegan Allen playing from my right back. I saw quite a lot of him from centre-back for Richards Bay. Gets a new position. Arthur Zwane as well. You had a chat with him before the game.
Yeah, I think he's quite comfortable there. Remember, at Richards Bay, he was playing in the back three, which was more on the right-hand side. So the right full-back position is not too unfamiliar for him. I think Coach Arthur Zwane has got confidence in him being on that side, and maybe hopefully to bring a bit stability as well.
No, of course. What is most interesting, the teams that you see playing today had time to size up this year's competition, with holders Orlando Pirates beginning their MTN 8 title defense with a dominant 2-0 victory over Polokwane City, saying catch us if you can. Is this the year of the Buccaneers? Will they pillage whatever village that they visit? That was out just Kotini Sarama Minzela. Meanwhile, in the last 8 matchup, Bradley Grobler, which I'm sure would have brought a smile to another striker sitting to my right hand side. He showed that AJ nothing but a number, and class is permanent. His mic drop entry coming in the form of a brace to seal a first semi-final berth for Sekhukhune United and his new club after consecutive failures in 2023-2024. From one striker to another striker who will strike when the iron is hot. We are live. This is quarterfinal action from DHL Stadium. It's the last remaining remnants of Cape Townian representation in Stellenbosch. Those are your super voices. Well, I'm Tetra and Velu Kumalo with the lovely vernacular flavor. In English, it is myself, Temba Boy, with the old fox in the box. Sean Bartlett is put away his scoring boots. He's more of a microphone man and a coaching dugout guy now.
Yeah, the fox in the box is a new one for me.
I'm here for you, Sean. I'm here for you.
I've always been flying as an eagle.
Well, with your hamstrings, I think the eagle is grounded at this point. But yeah, Stellenbosch on the front foot. They are attacking the goals from left to right in the traditional maroon. Beautiful run there already by Devin Titus. What kind of season is he going to offer? I mean, I've been really impressed with his progression. He's looking to follow in Devin Titus's footsteps as being one of the youngsters to being arguably one of the young vets, if I can call it that already. It's babyface against babyface.
Yeah, I think that will be an interesting matchup here today. That duel between Titus and Keegan Allen. You know, if he's going to swap to that left-hand side, the speed might be a bit of a problem for Keegan. But he was well equipped in that particular instance to stop Devin Titus. So let's hope it continues.
The first corner of the encounter to be taken by the well-polished Sanila Barnes. We touch tight to each other. Man-on-man marking that I'm seeing here, Sean. Not too much spatial sort of marking that we are seeing.
Yeah, just crowding that near post, obviously making it difficult for Fore.
Let's have a look. It's Barnes. Goes in and around the penalty spot. Does find a player in maroon. They keep it alive. Through Atenko Simtaba, who starts alongside BTM in Brendan Tabo Molisani, who will have BMT, never mind BTM.
And this is obviously another weapon that Stellenbosch does possess. Molisani with that long throw. He'll probably try and find the young O in Yanaya in that 18-yard area.
To hurl one in. It's to AmaZulu, rear guard, who sees the ball in the hands of 31-year-old Richard Ofori, man from Accra, in his 185th appearance in South African top flight football. Sean, you were out early in the pitch. What do you make of the playing surface?
Yeah, I think you'll see throughout this match, this ball is going to be very bumpy. You know, the pitch is quite flat, the surface. There's a lot of the grass have been taken out. I think it's in preparation for rugby, so it's very, very hard. So once that ball goes up in the air, it's going to bounce very, very high, and it's going to be quite difficult also to control with the first touch. So it takes a lot of focus and concentration just to on the pass and the receiving.
And speak of the rugby boys, we're privileged enough to be on the same plane with the DHL VP players and the big boys.
Yeah.
Felt like I was sharing with 4 people in one seat. It's hard to tell a prop no.
Yeah.
Well, back to the football in the center circle and the center of our attention. So like so far, Brendan Molisani, St. Stevens begins yet another season in the top flight. He'll be hoping for his 5th clean sheet in 8 games with the 34-year-old skipper. Opposite number is Rian Hanamu, Namibian international. There is right on cue. Looks to get to the byline and deliver something of menace, but sticking to him like a fly to the you-know-what is Kazi and Yanaya. Did he use all of his experience to get a foul? Looks just about right. Oh, that ball went out.
No, it's very strange because the referee was showing the other way. And all the players on the field is very confused as to who the foul has been awarded to.
Sean, as well.
I think even Hanamup was
like...
Yeah,
I think he was, I got away with that. Oh, okay.
How did I get the foul? But anyway, I think it was clearly a push from behind, which is quite disappointing for Coach Steve Barker because he was going nowhere. So just guide him out and get the goal kick.
This will really hurt if it ends up in the back of the net from a ghost foul, if we can call it that. That's a training ground move. If I ever seen one, all lining up, one behind each other. Explain that one for 10 marks, coach.
No, that's generally when everybody know exactly when to disperse, who's going to go near post, middle and far post, and you'll see all 5 of them going into different areas.
Let's see if it's the old 1-2 cha-cha-cha. They do disperse. Plenty of targets, none were found though.
That's not a bad delivery from Hanumub. Just the timing of the runs. I think the players just need to be a little bit more patient. It's always difficult to be ahead of the ball.
Highly experienced player. There was a lot of conversation last season about did AmaZulu have too much experience. I mean, their average age was in and around the 30 age mark. They've now brought it down by 6 years to 24.
It's always interesting. I'm all for youth players, but you've got to find that balance. You can't get rid of all the experience.
And famously, Teko Modisa once called them a retirement home, which I don't think went down well with some of the hierarchy. But you know what, behind some jokes they say there are some truths. Here's Stephen Titus looking to penetrate, but he changed it to Sanala Barnes, aiming for Eshlu Cupido. On the ball is Kazi and Yinaya. It's another lofted ball, but the old defender Tariq Philis, the old head, does exactly that, uses his head. Oh, now that's intricate to De Jong. The New Zealander is interested, he's fired up.
And that's the combination play we expect from Stellenbosch. Titus, De Jong, Cupido. It's just going to be interesting. Obviously, we've seen 3 crosses into that box now, and AmaZulu players, Mtetwa and even Keegan Allen, dealing with that pretty comfortably. Stellenbosch might have to find another way in order to create more opportunities.
It's another corner, and it's in favor of the home side. It's not a bad delivery last time around. And I think Sean Bartlett will tell you prefers an in-swinger rather than an outwardly bound ball. Tariq Philis, make sure he gets his head strongly feeling on the end of that. It's Barnes again to reload. It's a cross on side policy early on for Steve Barker's team. And that was nothing subtle from Hanumub at all from the pitch.
That's a bit reckless from Hanumub.
Yeah, it was.
Because now you've given them a set play in a free kick instead of a long throw. It was going out for a throwing anyway. Well, the outswinging set plays is always interesting with the goalkeeper or forward. Does he come off his line? Does he stay? And it puts the goalkeeper in 2 minds. So very tricky with the outswinging set plays.
Was this a gift wrap moment for the beaten finalists? And a man from the Winelands, Ashley Cupido, claims the last touch was off Sandy Mtetwa. The referee just simply said,
Trying to fool the referee there.
I think they caught him once before he said, I'm not falling for that. It was also quite of interest as picking up the comments of AmaZulu FC President Sandile Zungu, and said what he described as a magical target for his club in the 2025-2016 season. Lesotho beginning their season, of course, as you can pick up against Stellenbosch FC.
I think these first games are always interesting. You know, it sort of will tell you what type of pre-season they've had and what you were looking to build on.
The president is saying that the club's long-standing goal of finishing in the top 4 remains unchanged, calling it the Fantastic Four. Got rid of 16 players to get to that 4.
Yeah, I think you've got to set yourself high targets, because what's the use of competing if you're going to be comfortable just ending in the top 8 or, you know, avoiding relegation? You know, these players need to play for something, so give them a target and see how far they can get.
Do you think it's realistic that AmaZulu can break it into the top 4?
Anything is possible.
Always politically correct is Sean Bartlett, and never flinched, by the way. Told it as he saw it. And if you look at the longevity of AmaZulu, one of the so-called elder statesmen in the PSL, he founded back in 1932. And if you also look back at the year 1937 era, real foothold in South African football, that's where their footprints, you can trace them back. Speaking about Zungu, from one Zungu to another, it's Bongani Zungu in central midfield. One of those that survived. It seemed like the old man's top. Hendrik Ekstein had one of his best seasons on his campaign and want to replicate that. Tug of a shirt by Janino Palace. And Palace has made it to the main quarters, on the looks of it, this season. Was a product of the DDC last campaign. Oh, and that was dangerous. That pierced the Cape Town air fiercely.
Oh, that had Sage Stevens a bit worried there. He was diving last second. At one point it didn't look it was going close to the goal, but it was definitely on target till the last few seconds, swerving away.
That was not far, Sean.
That's a warning sign for Stellenbosch.
That's Usutu Mapeshankoni in their first warning shot. That was traveling. I think from the replay, Sage Stevens had his angles worked out relatively or so. Approach opening quarter, still close quarter combat, but no one really dominating early on. 16 should be the proverbial puppet master.
Ryan Moon just getting slightly ahead of that ball. It's going to be very important for AmaZulu here today, leading that line.
Here's an interesting one for you, for Ryan Moon. He's only played 11 minutes of MTN8 football. 1 minute in a semi-final, one against SuperSport United, and 10 minutes in the return leg. Other than that, he's never really played a prolonged time, and as a result has not scored. Doesn't have the best of records in the competition all of 11 minutes. I think Sean Bucket probably scored 5 in 11 minutes.
Yeah, it's been very unfortunate, to be honest. You know, he's been at a few clubs. I was coaching him at Chiefs as well, and I think, you know, he tried his best, but it's always difficult when you have to compete with other strikers. So I think the time factor is always important for strikers, for confidence. Hopefully he gets that at AmaZulu.
Tiedemann was playing his 169th match. Still quite young, relatively, 28 years young. Seems to have been around forever, Sean. I remember him when he started for then Maritzburg United as a NDC product, born out of PMB. That's Tariq Phillies, much more older than Ryan Moon. He's been to the Moon Impact, Tariq Phillies, and it's not lost fight at all, by the looks of it.
You can see the Stellenbosch players quite frustrated. They thought it was a foul on Sanele Barnes. Didn't get it. The Phillies will always be aggressive in his approach. Very calm on the ball as well.
Now we were going through sort of a historical breakdown of what usually happens when these two sides meet each other. That's Moon on the chest. That should be handled by Unati Omega Mdaga. There's also another one who seems to have solidified a spot in the absence of Fawaz Bazadin, who's left for Mamelodi Sundowns for greener pastures, or is it yellow pastures?
It could be yellow, it could be green.
Yeah.
Depends on what color the money is.
Depends what color is going to go there. That's the 14th meeting across all competitions between Stellenbosch and AmaZulu. Stellies having won 5, AmaZulu having won 4. There's been 4 draws in the last 14. The only previous cup meeting came last season, the League Cup last 16. AmaZulu with the hosts on the 18th of October of last year. City's winning 2-1 after extra time. Devin Titus scored for a man from the Wildlands in the 24th minute. Tsepang Muremi equalized for AmaZulu in the 53rd, with Andre de Jong scoring the game winner in the 97th minute. Actually did that game. Remember, I was out in KZN. Took me a while to remember that. It was a very tight affair, cagey in the opening 20 minutes, like we're seeing here. And it was only later on, when the game opened up, tired legs and tired minds, when you really started to see the qualities of De Jong and Cupido come to the fore. Cupido came off the bench on that day. And a very good cameo. And from the start, it's De Jong just took his eye off the ball at a crucial stage. Did open up for him as well. Interestingly, calls of a foul. The AmaZulu player, Tebogo Mashiko. And very interesting to watch the movement of the likes of De Jong, Cupido, Barnes and Titus.
That's quite ironic. I did the MTN game against Galaxy last season, and two of those goal scorers are no longer with the team, with Jaden Adams and Bassadine. And that's how things can quickly change in this football landscape.
Look at some of those that are not part of the Stellenbosch plans in the near distant future. Tylon Smith, an under-20 international, getting himself a contract with QPR. Interestingly, never played a minute of senior men's football for Stellenbosch. Clearly shows you the pedigree and sort of potential that those we call Wurkant will see in him. Torre out in the UAE with Banayas, and Fawaz Bazadine, as you already mentioned, at Sundowns.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, everybody thinks you need to make the first team in order for that next step. So it doesn't always have to be that pathway. If you're good enough, you can leave.
We were speaking just before the game. I mean, I ask you, the UAE, is that a interesting destination for Southern African footballers? Is that a place where they see themselves flourishing? That's X-Team looking not only to flourish but to stand on business. Mashiko. They circulate in order to create. Do AmaZulu. Nice pass there from Keegan Allen. Yeah, Sean, is a place like the UAE an attractive proposition for players from Mzansi Africa?
I think you always got to look at the bigger picture. If the desire is there to get to one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, it's a shop window. The UAE has become big, and it will become big also in the next few years. So I think it's more about the hunger, where you want to end up. And I think obviously these players know exactly. You look at even Antonio van Beek that went to 2nd division in Austria, and now they got promoted. Yusuf Maad joined that team. So these are all countries where your Germany, France, Italy, England go and shop for players. So it's a good shop window. And that's why you could see now Luke Leroux moving to Portsmouth.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, Luke Leroux's story as well. I mean, you also told me about an interesting Tanzanian project that's feeding the likes of Mets and the rest of Europe. We get to that from the corner. Quickly emerging Tato Kiba. They do well to block and initiate a potential counter-attack. Here's Eckstein. He has got other ideas. Nice setup. Keegan Allen on debut. Bundles it in as the way he dreamt it last night. But was that onside? Well, it says I'm on your side, AmaZulu. It's 1 Usutu, nil Stellies.
Oh, it seems to be repeated from last season. They went 1-0 down to Galaxy to come back to win 3-1. This time around, AmaZulu, and Keegan Allen on his debut does it for AmaZulu. Find himself in unfamiliar territory there in the 6-yard area. Good build-up play. Good vision also from X-Team, again, like you indicated. He's going to be important for this AmaZulu team.
It was from this move where X-Team saw through the many bodies, all onside all day, even on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's a great build-up. But there's been warning signs throughout this game already for AmaZulu.
Sandy Limteto, of all players, channeling his inner Iniesta there with a reverse pass, beautifully disguised, and Keegan Allen, well, scoring his first in the competition, but I'm sure will be a memorable one for himself and the Allen family, and in particular the AmaZulu nation. Here's the inspiration now flowing through Rian Hanamub. They got the tails up, and you saw Steve Parker there. Looked as if somebody had put sour grapes in his tea, judging by his facial expression. That was not part of a pre-match conversation, was it?
Definitely not, because in these type of games, your first game of the season, you want to hold that for as long as possible. There's always something to build on when you do not concede, and you create opportunities on the other side. But like I said, AmaZulu have been giving warning signs to Stellenbosch with the few attacks they've had already.
And I'll tell you what, the motivation will be extremely high for Usu Tumapeshanko, and given the fact in the last on the league last season, better put, Stellenbosch completed a league double over this particular opponent, winning 5-0 Chisampama on the 23rd of January, and as well a 1-0 home win on the 15th. So 6 unanswered goals in the league last season. Not forgotten by the looks of it.
Yeah, is that the first step to a possible surprise here today? We've spoken about this, not having beaten Stellenbosch in the last 6 games.
Yeah.
4 clean sheets in that last 6 games, like you said. But there's still a whole 70 minutes to play for.
I knew you were going to go there. As much debate was happening in the commentary box between us and our fellow colleagues as who the potential winner is. I'm not going to give away the score predictions, but there's not too much in favor of AmaZulu. Shows you how much we know. Stellies having won the last 3 matches against Susuta. Sean mentions in all comps and are unbeaten in the last 6. That's 5 wins and 1 draw. 9 to play before half an hour. We pick it up with Mulay Sani again. This time around, not too much man-to-man marking. There was quite a lot of space in that box for Stellenbosch with Una Timtag. Almost blocked by Mashiko. They reload to the right. Now with Akazi and Inaya. Devin Titus isolated, and it's from those positions he can create magic. Titus can be titanic on his day. And he's having quite more frequent days the older he becomes. That was a good cross. Actually, Cupido would have loved those all day, every day.
It was always dangerous, those type of crosses across the goal, and especially the near post. It just needed a touch, but obviously Phillies well alert.
Here's a player you know quite well, Ashley Cupido. One of his strengths, his mental strength, one of his key makeups.
Yeah, it is, but confidence is the biggest thing with him, and that's why once he gets his first goal of the season, his confidence goes up dramatically. So he's that type of player. Also, if you feed him off the shoulders of defenders, his speed can cause a lot of problems.
Cupido joining from Spurs. Here 2024. Barnes. Tariq Phillies has been at the centre of all things solid defensively for AmaZulu. There he is again. In fact, that was Ryan Moon this time around. Channeling is in Tariq Phillies with back to Ashley Cupido. He's an Ajax Cape Town youth product. Burst onto the scene roughly about 4 to 5 years ago. And then sort of moved around the Cape Townian footballing scene and up at the hands of my colleague to the right, Sean Bartlett. And I think you could claim some credit for the big move to Stellenbosch as well, Sean.
I think he did well in that promotion season with Cape Town Spurs. You know, scoring 15 goals, not as a striker, as a winger.
As a winger, yeah.
So that obviously put himself on the map, and people started recognizing his talent and ability.
He's already amassed 50 league appearances. As the 24-year-old Ashley Cupido, scoring 12 with 4 assists. Only 10 minutes in his previous MTN 8 game. So he'll be quite eager to impress in this one. Played in a 1-0 loss against Sundowns last year. And was on the bench for the final. Didn't get any minutes at all, I'm sure, which is something that would have given him extreme motivation. Here's De Jong. He seems to be always motivated. The pass is slid in exceptionally. Has to be for Barnes! That's Shiga ding ding! Kisses the inside of the upright and he says, mwah, from Barnes with love. It's 1-1. Wafa.
And that's what we spoke about. That speed of Stellenbosch when they get the counter attack. Sanele Barnes obviously capitalizing on that opportunity, but the speed that they ran at AmaZulu, I'm not sure what happened with Ofore, if he collided with Barnes, but look at this. Moon loses possession, and then look at this pass of De Jong. You know, just waiting for that timing of the run, and Sanele Barnes getting inside Hanemoop. You'll be disappointed, Hanemoop. You should be tracking Barnes all the way and not allow him to come inside. But there you can see the collision with the head and the thigh of Sanele Barnes. Very unfortunate there for Richard Ofore.
You know, hopefully Ofore is okay, because it does look like a very nasty collision. There were two passes that were out of this world. First from De Jong, eliminated 3 players, and then Devin Titus as one, eliminated 4 players.
And most players would actually wait for that ball to get to your left foot. Devin Titus took it early with the outside of the right foot. A little bit of a Luka Modric in that pass, isn't it? But great timing of the run from Sanele Barnes. Barnes always, you know, when it comes to that 18-yard area, he's always going to be important. Oh.
Ooh. I hope that's not a concussion, because it's right on the temple of the Ghanaian's head. That really did not look good at all.
If this was another sport, you had to go off for,
for
concussion.
ding-dong test, yeah.
So hope all is well.
But going back to the creation of that goal, I mean, there was such creativity, finesse and guile all in one. And then I love the part you mentioned, the outside of the foot pass just buys him just 3-4 seconds before Hanemoop can get into position.
Exactly. So but I think that everything was set up with the calmness, the composure and the awareness and the vision of Andre De Jong. You know, the weight of the pass was perfect for Devin Titus just to put his foot on it. Like we said, it's always a bit tricky with the condition of the pitch. So Sanele Barnes had to watch that ball all the way in order to convert
good point
the opportunity.
It's all the way to Mzimela. As a reserve goalkeeper, highly talented youngster, who's readying himself just in case if it's needed, and I think he may be needed, because Richard Ofore has not moved at all. Okay, there he is, at least his legs are moving now since getting that collision. That was the first. Some really good passing for both goals, so we're being honest.
No, exactly. I think the combination play from both teams to set up the first goals were quite exceptional, and you could see already those are probably things that have been done in pre-season. Maybe Keegan Allen not finding himself in that in the 18-yard area, but as a defender, he put it away, took a touch, and obviously steered it past Sage Stevens. But it definitely doesn't look good for Richard Ofore.
Yeah, it does not as well. And it's right on the temple. It takes you some time to recalibrate yourself, and even the toughness and all that experience of a man born out of Accra, Richard Ofore. That hurts. In steps, by the looks of it, all the way to Mzimela. I don't think he would have thought within 28 minutes of this crunch quarterfinal he would have been called upon. Oh, right there, the knee right into the face.
That's the unfortunate thing sometimes with the goalkeeper and strikers. You've got to put your body where it's going to hurt.
Ooh. Yeah, blood, sweat and tears in real time, in real pain as well. That gives a chance for the 24-year-old man out of Lamonti, Mzimela, to do it for his injured brother and Richard Ofore. And it's still bleeding profusely from that nose. Well, I'll be happy. I've seen some goals, some entertainment. I have to say the MTN 8 has really lived up to the billing. We saw 5 in the Skukuna United and TX Galaxy game. We saw a couple of goals in the Pirates encounter as well. And guess what? We got a couple of goals as well in match 3. I see one Pirates fan in the mix. In fact, more than one. You count several of them, and they must be happy as well, which gives me a chance. What did you think of the performance as Ozzy Apollos went back and bit his own employers where it hurts and didn't celebrate even?
Yeah, it's always interesting when former players come up against their clubs. You know, these guys, It's not about proving a point, but it gives extra motivation to obviously to get on the score sheet also for your new team. I think that's the important thing.
Easy, youngster, easy. As well, it's the month of August, and we are so pleased to have such talented ladies in front of camera, behind camera, in the main bus as well. The likes of Matapelo, highly talented people that continue to grow from strength to strength. May the good Lord continue to bless you, ladies. We are here for her. We're here for you too, Zama. We are definitely here for you. With half an hour on the clock. I know what was interesting about the Pirates game. 6 players making their debut. Ozuna stood out from those started. We give the chances of the new coach as well, speaking quite confidently and brutally saying, I need to win. If I don't win, I'm probably out the door.
Yeah, I think he understands. You know, all coaches, this is a game of results, whether you keep your job or not. So he knew the magnitude of the game. And it's always nice also to start with a clean sheet, because it gives the players more confidence as a team, not just as a defensive unit, as a team, what to build on.
Well, to Mzimela, the 24-year-old goalminder, making his MTN 8 debut. Another man's loss is another man's gain by the looks of it as well. Not part of the plan. I'm sure their first sub would probably not have earmarked one being in the goalkeeping department, but you plan to fail or fail to plan in any walks of life. You gotta have many alternatives.
The referee is so pedantic.
There's
a little bit of blood on the grass. So the first year's got to clean it up with some water before the game can continue. But yeah, these are small things that the officials need to take note of, and he's just doing his job.
How does that now affect the AmaZulu backline? Does that change things, or it doesn't really change much?
Well, it's one of the more experienced players. Like I said, you know, with him, with Ofore, Phillies, Allen in that back 5, it's an integral part that's missing now. So we'll have to see if Stellenbosch can really push forward and see if they can create more opportunities now.
Yes, Titus looking to pounce on the nerves of Oluwatum Zimela. To put it in context, by the way, way at home, and Sean, Oluwatum Zimela has only played 900 minutes of senior men's football. That's 9 Premiership games and 1 Nedbank Cup game.
Well, he's got some experience under his belt already. The minutes are important, and to be honest, the games I've seen him play, he's done exceptionally well. He's becoming more comfortable as well, commanding his area. Shot stopping is unbelievable. I think it's just more of the communication side that will improve, but I think that will come with age.
Yeah, you don't really find too many high-level keepers at the age of 24. And is a player that has been so faithful to AmaZulu, played through the MDC and has stayed with Usutuma Peshankoni when there was plenty of interest around him, and he stayed loyal, and I think is now being rewarded for his loyalty, I guess.
I think it's important. I think we also heard from Coach Arthur how the DDC is important for the first team, how they've looked at their DDC team in order to promote young players. So this is the pathway that these guys want to take and want to end up with, is making the first team of the club.
Yeah, man, you just saw came through the DDC as well, but not at Stellis, but Nechurena, being Una Team Taga, who incidentally was scouted by Arthur Zwane. He was the man he is the man who brought him to the spotlight in what is now Naviville. Barnes delays the cross. Hanamub is almost touch tied to him. A little drag by Tato Kiba. They really do want to play those 1-2s in and around the box. Keegan Allen needs to be careful. Was on the stretch, ironically, similarly to how he scored the goal. Then also will have quite a considerable amount of injury time, and probably plus 4 minutes or so. Phillies raises past the Young. in the battle of probably the two slowest players on the pitch. But what they lack in pace, they make up for high footballing IQ. Now that's sweet footwork, sweet patat. Kosikona Khatebe. Haven't seen too much of Khatebe on the right wing. And Sean, just in continuing with what we saw yesterday in the MTN 8 quarters, Natalie Krobla announcing himself to the Skukune United and Mabina Noko family.
Yep. I think it's like you said, age is just about a number, isn't it? He's proven over the last probably 5 years how good he is, always getting on score sheet, and how valuable he can be to a team even at this age.
Yeah, remember his sort of last spell at SuperSport United, they literally were waiting for him to come back from injury because they're bare pittance up top. And whenever Bradley Krobra was in the squad, you can tell that even everybody buzzes around because they know there's a chance. Give him a chance, he'll take the chance.
And that's what happened, isn't it? I think I remember the Polokwane game where he scored the header. That for me, obviously, the return back from injury coinciding with SuperSport surviving, also not going to the playoffs.
You must spare thought though for coach Adnan Beganovic. He thought his MTN 8 era may have Beganovic, but yeah, didn't happen for him.
Nope. Ended in massive disappointment, unfortunately.
With the likes of Adnan Zajmovic showing off considerable skill, Velas and Letswalo. Would have thought they've done enough until Bradley Krobla said, hold my drink. The Ngube finishing matters off just before the last 21 minutes. And in this game, we already have drama, goals, and bloody noses.
I think that's what it's going to take in order to win this match. You're going to have to put your body on the line for your club.
Eckstein, I mean, kept quiet, if we're being honest, since that contribution to the build-up of the goal. We haven't seen too much of him. Andre de Jong, such a clever player, such an easy on the eye player. Now with Cupido in a very familiar position. This is where he made his name, but not with such delivery. Knows better.
Did everything right except the delivery of the cross. You know, even that fake cross, getting it onto his so-called weaker left foot, just overpowered a little bit. Those type of passes, you've got to put it hard and low across the goalkeeper, because also you might just get an own goal from AmaZulu defender.
Really saw the defender there. Sianda Janabeza. Allen really seems pumped up in this game, but that opens up a position for Devin Titus, who looks up. He's always got, beg your pardon, the acumen as well as making the right decision.
That's twice now that Keegan Allen has been caught out of position.
I think it's just fueling of adrenaline. It's play on, chance to cross. Ryan Moon is in the box with and Enaya with the last touch. Had to make sure, wasn't quite aware what's behind him, so took no liberties at all.
More so about what's not behind him, but look at how Sage Stevens almost lost his footing here, so would have been really interesting had it gone the wrong way.
Was that the lucky charm for AmaZulu inside of the goal? Stevens falling over himself there, and the ball trickling over the line from Keegan Allen. Referee Michael Osimhen spots some ill-advised play.
He's giving a foul, or is giving them a warning?
I think he's just giving them the old talking to. I'm watching you guys.
You see how AmaZulu have changed their tactics. You remember the 5 in a row on the penalty spot. Now they're crowding that 6-yard area, making it difficult for Sage Stevens to actually come out.
Goes back post, Well, you can have as many tactics as you like, but if the delivery is not on point...
Well, I think Zungu will be disappointed, to be honest, because that ball was still in play. He's the one that put the ball behind. So you expected that knockdown. There's the new Cape Town City coach in the middle.
Yep.
Jan Freeman.
Jan Freeman alongside Diego Perau. I think saying to Diego, give me as much info as you can. Help me out here, friend. Sean, beloved region of Cape Town, you've given so much to it as a player and a coach.
Yep.
It's not happening, is it, of late?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that both these clubs, Spurs and Cape Town City, are spending more time in the courtroom. But I think, you know, Cape Town City obviously is trying to get the season going. They'll most likely be in the Motsepe Foundation Championship.
Well, Sean, if they're spending all the time in the courtroom, maybe they should, based on the evidence at hand on their playing performances, they should focus on that. I rest my case, Your Honor. De Jong to goal scorer Barnes, looking to become goal creator. Ryan Moon coming out to help with defense, exceptionally done there on his chest. It's a very good chest of a ball is Ryan Moon. Not too many people, I think, are aware of that.
He's got good technical ability, even aerially. He can give a good pass with his head. Obviously very strong left foot. Right foot maybe not as good, but he can take shots with the right as well.
It is worth mentioning he played for Stellenbosch as well back in 2021, and then left for Swedish club Vorpax. Another decent career for himself, still only 28. I think didn't have the best of spells, and probably his biggest platform, that being at Naturena. But yeah, outside of that, I think he's done decently for himself as Ryan Moon.
I think it's always difficult as a young player to, at a big club, to perform that week in, week out, that consistency.
Yeah, I think I remember that particular season, he had a very good one with Maritzburg, and then was fast-tracked into the Kaizer Chiefs side as Eckstein just gets a little touch. That's Genuine Palace on the scene, and had to be. Allen just needs to calm himself down a little bit. Because just making little amateur mistakes. That's why you got the likes of Tarek Philis alongside him, just to calm the youngsters' nerves down.
Yeah, Philis so far has been actually really good for AmaZulu. You know, keeping things steady at the back, but also the passes forward. Always finding a midfielder or a striker. It's important for a defender to have those type of attributes as well.
Of course, like I mentioned, Stellies or AmaZulu looking to join Skukuno London Pirates in the semi-final spots. Don't forget what a small matter of a team out in Kanklela, Opitur. Sundowns aiming to make their MTN 8 stay longer, and Richards Bay's one shorter. And he needs to be stronger there. And I wanted the Sundowns looking to ensure Richards Bay do not make it past this weekend's fixtures out at Lucas Muripe Stadium. The kickoff for that one is at 1800 hours Central African time. Good looking shot that from Devin Titus. Very capable of such, popping up with little magic moments. For long periods you think he's not doing anything. Oh, watch him run.
He's quite clever coming from the inverted position on the right hand side. Just had to keep that one down, and got to test him, Zamela, a little bit.
And what is fascinating to watch his progress, Devin Titus, when he started playing for Stellenbosch. We first saw him in the DDC playing for coach Evangelos Velios, the same side with Antonio van Beek and Adams, Jaden Adams. He was more of a traditional winger, down the line, pace cross. And then just to see him tweak it and play that inward game has been special. Here's De Jong.
Opted to go with the outside of the right foot instead of the, just power with the left across the goal. Could be offside here.
The flag is up. Say Stevens didn't take any chances.
That's always interesting because you're waiting so long, the assistant referee, to put up the flag. That could have possibly ended in an injury for either Moon or Sage Stevens.
Jeez, imagine we replace both starting goalkeepers within 44 minutes. It's definitely not according to script. Here's Titus. Looks for De Jong, who is pushing. Mteto was all over him. Great work there by XT, not known for his defensive contribution. 6 minutes, half a dozen. You can tell you're going to be added. XT slacks. Needs to do better and really doesn't bust a gut to get back into a defensive position. Most nonchalantly walks back and eventually gets into a jog. You'll notice about Stellies, every time they got the ball in the ring, there's more than 2 players in the box are waiting across. De Jong looks for that, again, the outside of the foot pass. That looks like it's the order of the day, the mandate, the modus operandi.
Well, extended really well on the edge of the box there, clearing, but yeah, outside of the foot is something they probably trained the whole week.
No one trained the left foot there by the looks of it. But it's working. And Unaya. Who's on there? Zimela, top of the head of Ashley Cupido, making his presence felt.
Just a bit unfortunate as Zimela caught the ball. I think his elbow just caught the back of Ashley Cupido's head. Wasn't intentional. Where you can see little nudge there, just making him aware that I'm here. I'm here.
He's here as well, and we are here for her. And of course the football. I wonder if Coach Barker, Siegel and Velios quite happy with what they've seen in the first half. I'm sure they are. One part I can guarantee you is that fight that they showed despite going a goal down. What other areas do you think they could possibly hone in on in the halftime team talk?
Well, I think especially Stellenbosch is the decision making in the final third. They've had quite a few final third entries, but it's the final pass that's been letting them down. AmaZulu on the other side, again, is just getting numbers forward.
I think it's quite clear AmaZulu are playing counter-attack football. They're absorbing the pressure and then slowly sort of make their way up top, and maybe hence the lack of numbers. It is still game 1 of, it's going to be a very long season, by the way. Football is back, ladies and gentlemen, from MTN 8 to Lisekazin. Sabui, like we never left. I'm going to be giving you Betway Premiership action in earnest, but first, it's the cup competitions. We got to crown a champion first on your World of Champions. Langabeza, Zungu. And I think you are looking at it correctly, Sean, with the lack of numbers just going forward for AmaZulu. How many times has Ryan Moon been isolated?
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit more support. He's done really well holding up the play, but it's just taking a bit of time getting support from behind. Whereas on the flip side, Stellenbosch is getting loads of numbers forward. It's just that final pass that's not coming.
Stellies finishing the second half, or rather the first half, much stronger than AmaZulu. They're almost content to just stay back and stay in their shape. Barnes, beautiful reverse pass. De Jong, his eyes must have beamed up at the chance of testing Young all the way to Zimela. Meanwhile, a foul by Barnes on Hanamu. Gladly will take that.
Yeah, Hanamu just using his experience to draw that foul from Barnes. Once he's released that ball, he knew exactly what he was going to do. But the momentum for the last 20 minutes has definitely been with Stellenbosch.
It's potentially the 5th draw in 15 games between these sides. If it does continue after the full-time whistle, will go to extra time, and then pens. No game thus far. Has needed penalties to separate two sides, and I'll tell you, Stellenbosch will not be taking pens as well in this comp. Ngaba Clears high and handsomely.
Yeah, 2 years ago, they lost to Kaiser Chiefs at home. Definitely not good memories when it comes to penalties.
As I mentioned in short, they don't want to catch none of that smoke. Want to get it done in regulation time. Claims of a foul on Khatebe, falling on deaf ears despite his loud skirmish utterances. I just get the sense AmaZulu want to take this game deep into the last 15 minutes and then look at the bench and move from there, while Stellenbosch want to finish it off in open play. And in the 90, beautiful, ex-team, entertaining Maverick on his day. Not on the save wavelength there between Mtetwa and Hanamu. And guess what? The ball will come back. Cupido, always an ever-willing runner. But it's not too many options in the box. He has to delay the pass. Barnes can find the pass. Decides to just go the easy route to the inside left. Now there's a foul as referee Michael Musimeng blows the half-time whistle. 6 minutes of injury time added after a bittersweet moment, depending on which side of the fence. Richard Ofori colliding with Sanele Barnes, who passed some beautiful creative work, firstly by Andre de Jong and then Devin Titus, which saw Olutum Zimela being called upon after what looked like a broken nose for Richard Ofori, while Sage Stevens was beaten early on by debutant Keegan Allen after a reverse pass that was wondrous from who else? One of all people, Sunny Mtetwa. And that's where the tail of the tape sits. Stellenbosch pushing matters, AmaZulu absorbing the pressure. It's 1-1. I've got to tell you something. Wafa wafa. Let's find out over the next 45 who exactly does that.
Well, after a fairly quiet first 15 minutes of this game, it was really about the team still testing each other's combinations as well as the new signings. But it was Keegan Allen that broke that deadlock, drawing the first blood and proving his worth to Usutu. But it wasn't long before Stellenbosch eventually settled into this game, getting those transitions, getting the ball to the wide areas and those half spaces, and Sanele Barnes eventually equalizing for Stellenbosch. And in the process, Richard Ofori getting seriously injured and Olutum Zimela getting an opportunity. I can confirm that Richard Ofori is currently being assessed with his injury, so we might have an update at the end of the game. But as it stands, it is 1-1 here at the DHL Stadium. History beckons for Stellenbosch, but I can tell you now, Usutu is putting up a great fight. Well, halftime analysis to follow after this.
But the old defender, Tariq Philis, the old head, does exactly that. Uses his head. Oh, now that's intricate. To De Jong, the New Zealander, is interested. He's fired up.
And that's the combination play we expect from Stellenbosch. Titus, De Jong, keep it out. It's just going to be interesting. Obviously, we've seen 3 crosses into that box now, and AmaZulu players.
But the old defender, Tariq Philis, the old head, does exactly that. Uses his head. Oh, now that's intricate. To De Jong, the New Zealander, is interested. He's fired up.
And that's the combination play we.
But the old defender, Tariq Philis, the old head, does exactly that. Uses his head. Oh, now that's intricate. To De Jong, the New Zealander, is interested. He's fired up.
And that's the combination play we expect from Stellenbosch. Tight.
But the old defender, Tariq Philis, the old head, does exactly that. Uses his head. Oh, now that's intricate. To De Jong, the New Zealander, is interested. He's fired up.
And that's the combination play we expect from Stellenbosch. Titus, De Jong, keep it out. It's just going to be.
Destination for Southern African footballers. Is that a place where they see themselves flourishing? That's X-Team looking not only to flourish but to stand on business. Mashiko. They circulate in order to create. Do AmaZulu. Nice pass there from Keegan Allen. Sean, is a place like the UAE an attractive proposition for? They circulate in order to create. Do AmaZulu. Nice pass there from Keegan Allen. Sean, is a place like the UAE and Mashiko. They circulate in order to create. Do AmaZulu. Nice pass there from Keegan Allen. Sean, is a place like the UAE in order to create. Do AmaZulu. Nice pass there from Keegan Allen. Sean, is a place like the UAE an attractive proposition for?
Twice now that Keegan Allen has been caught out of position.
I think it's just fueling of adrenaline. It's play on, chance to cross. Ryan Moon is in the box with and Enaya with the last touch. Had to make sure it wasn't. I think it's just fueling of adrenaline. It's play on, chance to cross. Ryan Moon is in the box with and Enaya with the last touch. Had to make sure.
Position.
I think it's just fueling of adrenaline. It's play on, chance to cross. Ryan Moon is in the box with and Enaya with the last touch. Had to make sure it wasn't. It's play on, chance to cross. Ryan Moon is in the box with and Enaya with the last touch. You'll notice about Stellies, every time they got the ball in the ring, there's more than 2 players in the box are waiting across. De Jong looks for that. Again, the outside of the foot pass. That looks like it's the order of the day. The mandate, the modus operandi. You'll notice about Stellies, every time they got the ball in the ring, there's more than 2 players in the box are waiting across. De Jong looks for that. Again, the outside of the foot pass. That looks like it's the order of the day. The mandate, the modus. Every time they got the ball in the ring, there's more than 2 players in the box are waiting across. De Jong looks for that. Again, the outside of the foot pass. That looks like it's the order of the day. The mandate, the modus operandi. In the ring, there's more than 2 players in the box are waiting across. De Jong looks for that. Again, the outside of the foot pass. That looks like it's the order of the day. The mandate, the modus operandi. But in the 15th meeting across all competitions, Keegan Allen opening the scoring for AmaZulu on his debut, scoring his first MTN8 goal of his career and his second appearance in the competition. Well, for AmaZulu, they scored their first against Stellenbosch for the first time across all competitions since a 1-0 win in a league match in the year 2022-23. AmaZulu ensuring that they are still in the encounter, but Stellenbosch showing why they are former finalists in this encounter, and showing that fight back, that fire, that bounce back ability through good work by Andre de Jong first, and then Devin Titus with the final pass. And that's sort of the foot pass, a creative pass, a delicious pass that found on hand Sanele Barnes, who on his way to sweep the ball into the back of the net also saw his knee collide with the face of Ghanaian international Richard Ofori. Was subsequently TKO'd for a little bit before he was stretchered off and replaced by Oluetu Mzimela. Will it be Stellenbosch or AmaZulu that join Skukuna United, or Orlando Pirates, the defending champions in the last 4? Interestingly, Andre de Jong's side having conceded first back-to-back MTN8 quarterfinals. He conceded the first goal against Tex Galaxy last season and came back to win 3-1 alongside his Sean Bartlett. Is that a good omen? Does that mean you can't buy experience, Sean?
Well, we'll have to see if Lightning is going to strike twice here, you know, to come back from a goal down and to win again. But like I said, the 2 goal scorers of that particular game is no longer with the club in Basadine and Adams. So somebody else will have to step up in this particular game.
And somebody else, will it be Andre de Jong or Ashley Cupido? Already Sanele Barnes has stepped up and scoring his first MTN8 goal of his career in his 5th appearance, incidentally, in the competition. He's now scored 3 goals against AmaZulu in all comps. And so a team he genuinely likes to play against. And I think that's the fact that a lot of KZN sides in the division, so you get plenty of opportunities to score against those from a particular region of the country. We are live for the second half. No fresh faces to report to you outside of the aforementioned Oluetu Mzimela replacing the injured Richard Ofori. We will have a thorough update of his condition since his injury. And Stellenbosch attacking the goals from right to left in maroon, with AmaZulu now attacking the DHL Stadium goals to the right of your screen. In fact, as I quickly look up, I see Andy Swasitole has made it onto the pitch for AmaZulu. And noticed what he's on to provide just a bit of penetration. Looks like Ryan Moon has taken off.
Yeah, I think it looks like they've gone for a bit of speed now. He looks quite lively up front, putting a lot of pressure on the defense of Stellenbosch at the moment.
You think it's fair that they took Ryan Moon off? Because he didn't really get much service. So a striker sort of feeds off service and makes his name off service, and if you're not getting any service, there's a disconnect, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's always, you know, the tricky part about being a striker. I think the few times he held up the ball nicely, he brought his midfielders into play, but when it comes to opportunities, nothing was really created for him, even though he found himself in good position. So let's see what Sutole can do here in the second 45.
Yes, I was asking you, what would you change if you coach Athaswan? We've already found one sort of ace on the table. We want more pace, more skill. What did you make of their game plan and execution of the game plan in the first 45?
Well, I think there's a few opportunities for Sutole. We saw in that first 45 there's a lot of space behind the defense of Stellenbosch. So with speed, you can go and exploit that if the run is perfectly timed. He's hoping, obviously, and this way can do that for him, Coach Athaswan.
Former Devon City man, getting 45 minutes plus to stake a claim for the rest of the season. Playing from the left wing position. And He makes his MTN 8 debut. 22-year-old Andy Sitole. For Stellenbosch, they still haven't really changed things up in terms of personnel. I think it's been working up until I say that right there, commentator's curse.
Yeah, it's always one of those things, isn't it? Just as you mentioned, a certain trend and then it goes the other way. But they seem to be quite patient. Again, just getting to that final third, the decision making can really improve in order to get that final pass going.
14 appearances altogether for Andy Sitole in his young AmaZulu career, having joined in August of last year from Durban City. He was a product of the Durban City scouting system as well as production line. Here's son in the Barnes, the goal scorer, connected quite beautifully himself and Andre de Jong. Yeah, said in that first half, it was quite eye-catching and noticeable how they all sort of change positions and how fluid they are in attack. Stellenbosch, a well-oiled machine. Despite having lost some players, they still know how to play amongst what is left.
They're quite comfortable in the attacking four with Barnes, Cupido, de Jong and Titus changing positions at times and causing a bit of confusion in the defense of AmaZulu. But like you've mentioned, they're quite comfortable also as far as that combination and relationship between the four. Everybody seems to know exactly what needs to happen. Will be interesting to see if Zanele Barnes go for goal or actually play it.
Sits on 3 goals against AmaZulu, the most against a single side in the top flight across all comps. Is 3 soon to turn to a fantastic 4. It's Barnes, almost beats Mzimela, but that's why he's in the side for Olotum Mzimela. Very good shot stopper, saw it late, was moving as well.
That's a great save, because he also had Tariq Phillies going across him that attempted to header the ball, so he had a lot of things to deal with and still managed to make the save.
I think AmaZulu have if they've not noted that, don't give away free kicks in and around the box. Barnes very capable. I still have a sneaky suspicion, I may be wrong, I've been many times wrong. This is not going to go to pens, so I hope I've not put the mark on it.
Should never mention it, Themba.
So sorry, I think I already have. On the way straight to extra time, and if no side can be separated from the other, we go to pens. There's Barnes looking to ensure that does not happen. Titus! Too tight for Titus.
The whole bench of Stellenbosch were already running, knowing that Devin Titus will get at the end of it. But he just skied it at the last second. Just took a wicked bounce, as you can see. Zanele Barnes had great vision seeing Titus. But there it just takes a bounce. You've got to get your body over the ball if you want to keep it low. Great build-up again from Stellenbosch.
De Jong or Titus could have really passed, and that was not far, you know. And very capable finishers of that sort of time finish, Titus and de Jong, using an in-step and quite adept at it. And it's Barnes creating havoc on the left. And I think starting to become slightly problematic for Coach Atazwane that side with Keegan Allen and Kosikona Khatebe are combining, or not combining, defensively anyway. Multiple debutants from an old face to new faces that we may still see. Stellenbosch's new signing, Siviwe Nkwali, is on the bench, having joined from Cape Town Spurs. AmaZulu's new signing, Keegan Allen, we've already seen about 52 minutes of him. Ryan Moon got about 46 plus minutes. Darren Johnson as well is on the bench. Oh, Zimela not done any favors there. Well, joining from AmaZulu from Richards Bay, making 27 appearances last season, scoring 1 goal across all competitions. So it's a rare feat. So I don't know if that's a good omen for a man who does not score at all, and he scores in a crunch 1-for-1 for quarterfinal. Maybe that's a good thing. If you're an AmaZulu fan, and if you believe in those kind of things. A young 24-year-old versatile defender who started 26 of his 27 appearances for the Natal Rich Boys. Rich pickings, I guess, for him in terms of staying fit. Ryan Moon joined from AmaZulu from Golden Arrows. 11 appearances for Moon, scoring 1 goal last season across all comps. Not the best of returns, like we said. Still, I think, looking to really establish himself and find a team where you see him consistently hit double figures season after season.
Yeah, and that double figures, even like you mentioned, has got to be in games and playing time. So, you know, you can only get the goals once you get the minutes under the belt. So hopefully you will find that at AmaZulu.
And you can only get the goals if you play more than 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's always tough for a striker, because that's what you're gauged on, and, you know, compared how many opportunities you create and how many you score.
Short question for you, and continuing with the striking conversation, how do you then sort of manage your confidence as a striker? Because sometimes you're playing, sometimes you're on the bench, but one thing, you always need to be switched on, because your job is to win games for teams. We'll get to that. Beautiful pass, 16. His job is to create, and he did that to aplomb, but the pass from Hanamub, of all people, just could not find the onrushing Mashikhu.
I think it's a combination of things there. Hanamu obviously playing that ball across. In my opinion, had there been more grass on this field, that ball would have held up a little bit, but it will always go at speed. You know, the power of the pass itself, probably a little bit too much, because like we've seen, there's hardly any grass on this pitch, so the ball is going to run away, almost like an AstroTurf, to be honest. That is how hard this pitch is at this moment in time.
The irony, there was some real comparisons to how Stellenbosch scored their first goal. That little pass to eliminate 2 in between the lines, and then the reverse pass on the 45. Difference is, it wasn't outside of the foot, and it wasn't to the foot of the teammate. Great work by Hanamu, by the way. Showing he's still got it at the tender age of 30. Many deem that to be past yourself by date. Don't think so. I think it depends on how you're doing your work on and off the pitch.
I think 30 now is the new 25, isn't it? You see players going on to 38, 40 years old, so gone are the days where you're in the retirement age when you get to 30.
Well, if you're Ronaldo, 40 is the new 25.
Yeah, exactly.
Hanamub really bringing spotlight to his talent back with the Orlando Pirates, and not the one from Orlando, but rather in Windhoek, being Orlando Pirates Windhoek. He was there for about 2 seasons between 2015 and 18. He is got 36 caps at international level for Namibia. Born out of Otavi. That's one of Soweto's finest.
I said to him before the game, Coach Arthur, do you remember when we won this trophy in 2006 and 7? He said, I can't think that far back.
I think I had an S-Curl back in 2006. Who was part of that team, by the way?
Oh, we had an exceptional team. We had David Matabula, we had Thabo Moke.
TVT, okay.
Fabian McCarthy, Kaiser Jr. Obviously, Arthur was playing in the one wing as well. So it was a good team. I think Coach Mushin Ertugrul was the coach at the time.
What the Chiefs need to do to reclaim those kind of glory days? Sean Bartlett there, age-old big question. Yes, Titus looking to answer in real time for Stellenbosch and their semi-final ambitions. Do they have the right squad this season?
Well, we hope so. I think the biggest thing everybody's looking for, like most clubs, is the striker to put the ball in the back of the net. Hopefully they found that. they can keep, obviously, Ashley Dupre injury-free. Lepo, for me, did reasonably well when he came in as well.
I think the one I found quite strange was the Castillo, and I think there was still something you could get out of that fountain.
Yeah, it's always one of those positions, you know, not very recognizable, but when he's not there, you can see what he's missing.
And there's going to be a lot of eyes as well on new RIV man from Port Vale, Ethan Chislett. Kanye Soshinga came from FC Alvera. Flavio Silva, he picked him up at Surabaya. More known to the South African faithful, the likes of Thabiso Munyane, making the swap from Orlando Pirates to Kaizer Chiefs. Is De Jong isolated against Mteto, can't get the cross across. I think it's a South African thing where big rival clubs sell to each other. You won't see Real Madrid sell nobody to Barcelona for sure.
Very unlikely. There's been a few in the past, but you know, you think of Luis Figo as one of them, but not very, very often.
The original
to be honest.
Ronaldo as well as another one.
Yep.
Now for Pirates, they've also done some really good business, getting in the likes of Absalem Madua, the head coach, Master Chef Sipombule, Masindi Namatangelo of Murumo Ganes, highly talented player. Cupido claims of a handball. Frimo Simengs has play on. And I think another big conversation point, can the likes of Pirates, Stellenbosch, Skukuna and Chiefs to a certain degree push Sundowns further than they have been pushed in the last 8 seasons?
I think that's going to be the big question every season, isn't it? But to be honest, I think it's one word for me. It's consistency. That is what Sundowns do on a regular basis. You know, they know how to win, whether it's games or trophies. They know how to do it, and I think that's what a lot of clubs obviously need to improve on or get in their makeup.
Past the hour, there's still goals by Senator Barnes and as well debutant Keegan Allen. Sees the scoreline very tight, and both teams still vying just to get their noses ahead. The best chance we've had in the second half is Sanala Banza's free kick, which Honotum Zimela had to get low to his left hand side to parry. Moving ball, Titus for once. His control is not tight enough from Titus. He's had a really good game, Tarek Phillies.
Seemed to find himself always in the right position, whether it's covering him Tetwa, where they're just stepping up into that midfield.
Phillies turned 33 on the 21st of June. Man who knows Cape Townian football quite well. When come through the Ajax youth system, also played for Milano United back in the 2013-14 era, before switching the mother city for another coastal region in Devon. Plays for AmaZulu, having joined back in 2023 from Cape Town City, playing in his 14th MTN 8 game. That's over 1,190 minutes, if my maths is correct. Only one goal though, but he's in the side to stop goals, and he's really marshaled that defense extremely well.
Yeah, he's obviously spent the bulk of his professional career at Cape Town City. Very familiar with the stadium, where they used to play the home games. And like we said before, it's always an incentive as a former Cape Town player to come and beat a Cape Town team.
And just 2 appearances away from an overall tally of 250 in his illustrious and long career, showing real longevity, turning 34 next June. You wouldn't say it. Man who's 9 years his junior, Keegan Allen, gets up well as a first sight of Sitole. Looks for the run of Mashiko. Yeah, Sage Stevens is not happy. I think that's the second time that he's landed in.
Things very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The way he fell there.
maybe speaks to exactly how hard the surface is, as you mentioned.
It
Sean.
does, it does. I promise you, I saw the assistant coach, Wesley Sergel, before the game kick the ball up, and it bounced so high. He couldn't believe it, actually, that it came off grass. So I think that's the one thing that these players are finding very difficult to get used to.
Horses for courses, I guess. But the main course is to finish the job in 90 minutes. Here's Kiba, can't find the passing lane and is infuriated by the young Mdaka. Now with Enyanaya. Palace, for once, we saw him in an attacking position. I think we've seen Palace and Kiba be very astute defensively, but we haven't seen a lot of flow offensively from the two central midfielders. A lot of it has come from this man, Dion. Look how deep he's come, the twin-age-old.
I think the first 45, Palace and Kiba played as 2 6s. Now Kiba's the one holding and he's got a bit of freedom now. Palace playing as an 8, supporting the young and keep it up front.
I've seen Palace in the DDC side, was groomed in the 8 position, also drops in the 6, and like many young players that play for Stellenbosch, you play different positions to prepare you for different sort of battles. Antonio van Veek once upon a time was playing right back, then went into midfield and ultimately ended up in a wide attacking position. Janet Adams as well was groomed in multiple parts of the ground.
Yeah, we've got another young player, Jurgens, also.
Yeah,
Can play CDM, attacking midfielder, or as a right fullback.
Yeah, can play right back as well. Beautiful work there from Hanamu. It's stopped efficiently by Tamamolo Isane.
It's always good when a player can play more than one position. Give the coach different options should he want to change the formation.
Well, my next question to you is that a good thing or a bad thing, given the fact that All Saints says jack of all trades but master of none?
No, I think you need to have a primary position, but then there's always a backup, knowing that the coach can use me in another one. There should be a primary one, especially as an outfield player. But nowadays it requires a player to be everything. You need to create, you need to score, you need to defend, and you need to attack. So there's no more free role anymore. Everybody's got a job to do.
Basically need to be Sean Bartlett.
No.
Zungu, much more is he gonna stay out there? Usually Atazwane likes to give him about 65 to 70 minutes before introducing a bit of fresher legs, younger legs. Done well of AmaZulu, I have to be honest, to come to this particular ground and play this particular team at this stage of the competition is not easy, given the fact that it's mostly these 8 teams' first major competitive game. And you can see they've been working on the training ground, particularly on defensive shape and solidity. Haven't seen as much on the attacking side of things. Pulled down Titus. There's a look of referee Musimeng. He says, yeah, definite foul.
For me, what's quite interesting is Titus came from an offside position. So the assistant referee should have raised his flag. And you can see he's talking to the referee at this moment in time, because he didn't think that Titus was going to get to the ball. Now the referee has awarded a foul where the assistant referee should have put the flag up initially. And you can see even the AmaZulu players asking the same question.
Yeah, Hannah Movement, Derek Phillips, the two old heads saying, but wait a minute. He came from an offside position, and then he says to him, fix your earpiece. Maybe the question was, is this earpiece working, sir?
Well, apparently this is also another thing that might be adopted into our league this season, is the captain is only allowed to speak to the referee. So not everybody can just run to the referee and object to certain things.
Good luck with that. Players quite a passionate bunch. On the best of days, I see the Orlando Pirates fans as well. in good spirits after their side started off with the fighting spirit of note. Looks like Lisibanku is going to come on for the man from the Winelands, one of two subs, with Tumani Butaka, so soon to join in the interim, as Barnes has already fired a warning shot earlier, but this is a difficult position from this angle with the right foot. Barnes though says, hard for what? I can troubleshoot because I've no problem troubleshooting. Oh, he cracked the code and cracked the angle. It's a brace for Barnes. Barnes storming.
You've got to see this from behind the goal. That almost looked like it went past the wall. And Mzamela couldn't get there in time. You can see Hanamu, Phillies all asking the question, was your wall correctly placed? Because there's no way that that ball should have gone through the wall. The replay will be very important because everybody's questioning where to Mzamela. As you can see, yeah, we can clearly see it goes around the wall, so that wall wasn't placed in the right place. Your second or third guy needs to be in line with the goalpost and not your first one. But Sanele Barnes is there, and that was his last bit of action as well.
That was his last touch. But literally his last touch with the golden touch for the man with the golden mouth. Scores his fourth against AmaZulu. He loves playing against Usutu. Meanwhile, Lisiba Ngu will pick up the batting. Tato Kiba will be replaced as well. Tumani Potaka, what a time to leave the pitch.
I was just going to say that, Temba. It's sometimes, you know, people in the stand don't realize, as a coach, you ask your players to warm up 10 minutes before. You give the assistant referee, the fourth official, the papers 10 minutes before. And it's just unfortunate that he had to leave with the last kick, obviously being the goal. And that substitution was already in the pipeline.
Oh, you bet if I'm Barnes, I'm going straight to Coach Steve Barker. Why are you taking him off, sir? You just see what I just did. 1, 2, are you not happy? Are you not entertained?
I can still get a hat-trick.
I can still get a hat-trick. By the way, Sean, and you called it quite early as Devin Titus has wrestled to the ground a la Big Show style. Titus was offside when he ran and he got the foul. So
and that goal, ended
up in the back of the net.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. Well, let me just say, let's wait till Monday.
Wow, there's going to be a lot of conversation. And I tell you what, Atazwani, Sponiso, Villegas and Simo Dada on the bench for AmaZulu will still be conversating. We'll be foaming at the mouth at the fact that, you know what, I was probably offside. Not probably, was offside. And he was allowed to continue, 19, to play with Andre de Jong. I think it's just but slightly colder for the president. No presidential treatment.
Yep, it always is. That's why they say the hottest seat is the coach's seat. It's a little bit cool and colder up there.
What must he be thinking? Should have kept me on, at least would have brought us back, but coulda, woulda, didn't do it, and past is the past, and I hear it now. The scorers will tell you, Sananda Barnes has a brace that potentially could see Stellenbosch secure semi-final place. And with the likes of Sundowns and Richards Bay watching on. Oh man, it's been one hell of a start to the quarterfinals. Mashiko looking to finish what he started. Mashiko! Oh, and it loops in as well! It's 2-2! Marvelous Mashiko! This game turned on a knife edge. Sage Stevens is at pains while they're at pleasure.
It started with a lot of confusion, miscommunication in that back four. You could see Mkaba and Mdaka not knowing who's going to go for the ball. But Mashego totally capitalized. It was a good counter-attack, obviously. capitalizing here. You can see Palace miscontrol. Molisane and Ngaba don't know who to go for the ball, but oh, look at the deflection. How unfortunate can you get?
4 Stellenbosch players, and it loops over the 5th in the keeper. How lucky is that? I know their kit is green, but wow, that is a rub of the green if I ever seen it.
Well, gotta create your own luck.
Shade Stevens out. Sage jaded. 2-2, and I said we may not be going to extra time, but I also did say I do get the scorelines quite wrong, but there's still plenty of time still to get a winner in this game. We had 5 goals in the second game yesterday, 2 in the first. Now we've got 4 in the third.
Well, the way the last 10 minutes have gone, anything is possible.
I think as well, Eckstein's little pass backs, first time ball pass to Mashiko, just eliminated and destabilized that Stellenbosch defense. With mind you, the last touch, I think man came off the substitute, Tumani Butaka. It's not been a good day for the subs. Ola Timzimela getting it wrong with the setting of the wall, and then Tumani Butaka unwittingly getting the last touch that looped over Sage Stevens. Don't think that goal or that ball was going to really trouble Sage had it not taken that wicked deflection. Mtetwa goes for a raking pass to Hanabu, who controls with the expertise of a man that's honed his skills on many a field. AmaZulu readying Ben Motswari. Motswari may be coming in for Bongani Zungu. With a sneaky suspicion. There was a count for the goal scorer. Tebogo Mashiko.
That took a bit of time as well. It was clearly from the protesting from the fans on the far side that yellow card was awarded. There was no intention at any point that he was going to get booked.
Those friends of Stellenbosch, that one. Complaints department. There's experience. Ben Motswari is soon to come on. Meanwhile, injured aside, Sianda Zangabeza. Just look at the back of the shirt of Exin. I think it tells you the dampness of this very hard pitch. It's a tricky surface, I'll tell you what, and it's a tricky scoreline for both teams. Zangabeza, in fact, is the man that's going to make way for Manoga Ranfontaine in Ben Motswari. There's confirmation. Motswari coming on for his 13th appearance in the MTN 8. Is that lucky number 13 for Big Ben?
Yes, and Klangabeza did a really sterling job here. Gave a good account of himself in that 75 minutes that he played.
Appearance 269 for Ben Motswari in all comps. 13th in the MTN 8. And we'll finish off the job that Zangabeza, Sean mentioned, extremely well. This game is far from done, I tell you. All beautiful work by Ndaga. For the first time we see him involved in build-up play, but leaves a space for William Sitole. Butsaka. That would have been something had he seen the ball pinched off of him. How long before that man still has something left in the tank? Like I said, he usually gets subbed around the 70th minute mark, but it's a game of such high pedigree and high stakes that you need high football IQ and players that can play under high pressure. Does Allen go the high road or the low? He goes neither, or sideways.
Well, when you've worked so hard Let's make sure that now you work smart. So Zungu, like you've just indicated, he's got high intelligence.
Oof, almost a delectable first touch there by Hanamo. They've tried it a few times. I think it's something that they've rejected in the half-time break. That ball over the top, over the right back of Stellenbosch, there being Nyinaya. It's worked a few times. Hanamo almost brought it under control and moved on. Teto's also been good, I have to say. In possession and out of it. Next team. AmaZulu buoyed by that equalizer. You can see it now in their passing. Even the sound of the pass is paying off the boot. Khatib. Sitola's offside. Stellenbosch falling to shame. They'll go back and look to build up slowly. Reminder, Stelli's having won the last 3 matches against this particular opponent. And almost a Mashiko special. But that one, he just passed straight to the keeper.
I think it's frustrated more Coach Arthur. Zwane on the touchline here.
He thought it was in.
He definitely thought it was in.
Titus waits for support. It's coming ever so slowly. Derek Phillies shuts the back door and says to him, straight to his face, the Bursa Sport.
Surely that came off Sitole.
He did, but they missed it right in front of Coach Steve Barker. 2 subs, by the looks of it as well, for Stellies. One of those being Leshonolo Muchela. You're really going for it. Quick look at the opposition bench. Not so much activity. AmaZulu, by the way, last claiming a win over Stellenbosch. You have to go all the way back to the 2022-23 season. A solitary goal was enough at home in a league clash. With Stellenbosch really struggling at the start of their feud, if I can call it that, with AmaZulu, having failed to win any of the first 7 matches against AmaZulu. That's 4 losses and 3 draws. They've now won 5 of the last 6 matches in all comps. That's a good looking pass. With Sibanku's first contribution. Wouldn't have counted, flag is up. Wasn't a good pass at all. And I don't know if that was offside at all. Sean Bartley doesn't seem to think so, and I think I agree with him.
He might have been slightly ahead of the ball, but that was very, very tight. Devin Titus obviously saw that pass. And Cool probably just running ahead of the ball too early.
Kumucho Lekwalane alongside Leshonolo Muchela. Lekwalane as well as Muchela in for the last 8.5 minutes. Buckle up in the MTNA. The X-Team really looks sharp at the start of the season. Question is, can he maintain it? That's always been, I think, a big question mark around him. Consistency level. Talent is definitely there. Here's Nku. Again, it's some Tetwa, Phillies and Allen. Started to get a bit of a grasp over the movement of Stellenbosch. Not as frequent, those attacks, and as fluid.
Well, it's a little bit more difficult now for AmaZulu because there's no out-and-out strikers, so there's a lot of movement between 4 or 5 different players.
Lukaka, he sees his pass pinched. Mashiko plays the target man, Sitole. First time pass to the feet of Khatebe, who stretches his legs out of Hussein Bolt style. And too hot to handle, too fast for Butaka. Yellow card for Kumani. In fact, it was Atenkosi Ngaba, beg your pardon. That's when the fitness now starts kicking in. You see how heavily he was breathing him Ngaba after a recovery run. And maybe just didn't fancy going toe-to-toe with his opponent. It's all happening. Arthur Zwane coaching in real time.
Just telling Keegan Allen he's got to open his body a bit more and see Khadebe on the right hand side. Once he receives it, he's got to keep that ball moving, circulate the ball.
I just wonder how much defensive advice can a former winger give a versatile fullback. But anyways, the head coach should know more than most about most positions on the pitch. That's 16. Cross not the best. Hanamu can deliver. Oh, Tarek Phillies back on his home turf. Almost became a villain back home. Collective hearts were held there. Can tell the nerves have started to rise now. It's Ben Motswari. Yellow card for him.
That's what we would call a tactical foul. He knew there's no way he was going to get there. So let me stop this attack right here.
Right now.
And stop Modrele from getting any further closer to our box.
And I think you'll take that far because look how far it is from the goal. So they can organize this time around. And even if they do get it wrong, there's still time to recover a little bit.
It's all about defending the cross now. The set play first.
It's the first ball, Tarek Phillies. Oh, almost a mistake, and lucky for them, ends up in the hands of a grateful Ole Tumzimela, but that hurt for Hanamu Ichu. Ooh, right in the sternum, or is it where it hurts even worse? There was that Hanamu chance, Sean. Unnoticed was Phillies.
He's very, very good in that, just peeling away from his marker, just guiding that header towards the goal of Sage Stevens, who was in a very good position to gather it.
Sean, was I wrong? Is this going to go to extra time? Or is there one more twist in this tale? Allen on the ground, injured. We should add a few more seconds if the ball is kicked out, which indeed it is. Youngster's had a pretty good run out on his debut for AmaZulu. The former Sundowns product. He deemed it surplus to requirements, and then he moved to the other of the Praetorian sides in Ducks, and has since made his way to the province of KZN. Studies of next, and says that brother. Well, right now it's next because it's 2-2. They need to find something to separate themselves. Next team. Good tackle there by Palace. First time pass, Ben Motswara is a good one. Sitole is onside, but going wider and wider and waiting for support that's never arrived. Sweet and Khatebe on the 45. Motswari!
It's almost the wrong person in the right place. Just had to work a little bit on his technique there, Ben Motswari. He was looking to go for more of the power than placing all he had to do is scythe with the ball either side of Sage Stevens. Well worked move again by AmaZulu.
They're enjoying themselves. I think they would have enjoyed themselves even further had that kissed the back of the net. By the way, Motswari has never scored in his previous 12 MTN 8 games, and that showed. He's got 1 assist, by the way, Sean, in those 12. But how that talent from Kosikwana Khatebe, he looks a handful, jersey 14. There we go, AmaZulu having caught a second wind here. Mashiko, Khatebe doesn't want it, Sitole. Somebody must take the shot.
It's like nobody wanted to take responsibility.
Nobody wanted to take the responsibility. A bit of hot potato, Sean.
You can see Phyllis, Zungu, everybody's having a go at Khatebe. Why did you have to pass back again? Great work again from Extend. That little cutback.
By the time Extend looked up, there were about 6 players in the room. Look at that. 2 of them converging. The other 3 already standing in and around the line. The danger has not disappeared as yet. Well, there's AmaZulu finishing with a stronger kick here. Say Stevens caught in mist of bodies. Mujela takes a tumble, handles the ball, cleverly wins a foul to see the pressure valve eased.
It's been frantic last 10 minutes here, but it does seem it's going to go to the inevitable extra time looming.
I mean, judging by how the last 4 minutes have shaped up, AmaZulu don't want extra time, they want to finish it now. While Stellenbosch, they'll take extra time right now.
Stellenbosch under a lot of pressure for the last 7-8 minutes. I think you're absolutely right as far as extra time for Stellenbosch. If they can just hold out here, they have to regroup.
Steve Barker pacing. But his side can't keep with the pace of the game right now. Well, President Zungu watches on. His seat still proving too hot to sit still. Butaka. Away. We are 1 minute into the 5. And shown up on the board. Thinks of the pass. Lays it to the nearest teammate. Calls of a handball. No sun in the barns on the pitch. Mashiko. Zungu. Does have vision, but does he have the energy in the legs to find that perfect pass? Khatebe looked tired there. There's a lot of running from this right wing. Will also be pure heartbreak for Stellenbosch if AmaZulu steal it late on. Remember, they have not won against the team from the Winelands in the last 6 of AmaZulu. Is it gonna be lucky number 7? Mujela. Wanna move touch tight to him. Mujela. Shoulder to shoulder, needs to be stronger. Then picked up by Nesibangu. Plenty of static bodies, that's why the ball took so long to arrive. Now Frimusimeng needs to get out the way. Even he's caught up in the action. It's that fast and furious. Ntaga, Allen. Looks like barely got anything left in the tank. Motswari in the side for exactly that, but cannot find the pass. Coach Athazwan, I don't think was happy with Mashiko for not making that run. Allen.
Suddenly the table have turned where Stellenbosch is applying all the pressure
It's
now.
been a seesaw affair. Palace. Butaka. Devin Titus, can he unlock this AmaZulu defense? But not too much movement or any takers, really. Looking a bit tired, jaded and jagged. Stellenbosch here. I think they're missing that Cupido effect as well, that he occupies centre-backs, is a willing runner.
Not just Cupido, but also De Jong was winning all the aerial duels. So now you're putting in crosses and there's nobody there to really compete. So it's a little bit more difficult.
I think my premonition may been slightly off by the looks of it. We may be going to extra time. The first game of this year's MTN quarterfinals, not to be settled in regulation time. Now the looks of it, into the last minute. Mashiko, great cushion header. Sitole has really been a great entrant, and it's 16. Oh. That would have seen the roof blown off this place.
If there was one.
Good point, if there was one. Well, they should get one with that much rain that they have here. Well, Sean, as we turned it down to the last minute of injury time, there's 2-2. It's a reflection of this encounter we've seen. It's been left, right, up and down.
Well, I think so. I think both teams have given their all and tried their best to convert the opportunities.
Mujelo later on, Butaka! Was going the other way, was Oletum Zimela. He knows he could have been the hero. Luckily for Zimela, they didn't shuttle far enough so he could easily get back to his left. But the corner still to come. No, not like that, sir, not like that. AmaZulu about to make a sub with whatever's left. Mujelo bulldozing his way through. Keegan Allen, as tired as he is, can't barely even jog nor speed walk towards Devin Titus. Still fights. What a debut from the 24-year-old. They brought him into the side not only for his footballing ability but his fighting spirit, and he's shown plenty of spirit. Hanamud. Londi Mbandra waiting to join, and they cannot be separated. So the first quarterfinal that sees two teams unable to sever themselves away from the opponent. It's 2-2 at the full-time whistle. What a game at the DHL Stadium. And guess what? The job is not yet done.
Well, now it's all about how good was your pre-season. Can you go that extra 30 minutes or 45 should it include penalties? Both the teams have given their all. They've tried their best. You can see Coach Arthur just motivating him, Zamela there. Still got 30 minutes to go. You've got to keep us in the game. Give us a chance to go the other way. Titolo, Mashiko, they've done really well with Eckstein going the other way, creating opportunities.
And at the full-time whistle, goals by Sanele Barnes, a brace, Mashiko and Allen sees the sides having to get to extra time and give a little extra. And watch out for the Titus effect in this extra time. Let me tell you why I say Stevens and Rihanna sort out who will kick off and from which side. Titus has a number of goals against AmaZulu. Most recently scored a brace in his side's 5-0 away league win over Usutuma Peshanko and scored in the opening goal in the 2-1 League Cup last 16 win. AmaZulu and TX Galaxy are two of the sides he most favors and has scored the most goals against in the top flight career, so that may still be in effect as the sides could not be separated at full time. Now it's down to extra time. That's by the looks of it finally will happen in Mlondi Mbanjwa. Keegan Adam, what a game he's had as well. Bongani Zungu got all of 90 plus minutes, eking out every piece of experience and ability out of him. Nice little touch at the end. Nice gesture and a handshake with Coach Steve Barker. They say game recognizes game. And we up for the first half of extra time. Sean Bartlett, if you're a betting man, who's winning this game? Don't ask me.
Well, the first thing was I didn't expect extra time in this encounter. But here we are, 30 minutes to go. Like you've just indicated, nothing has separated these two in the first 90. And even on the stats, everything has been even when it comes to AmaZulu and Stellenbosch. So it's going to be very interesting this first 15 minutes of the extra time. Who's going to really push in order to get the first goal?
There's the bright lights in the DHL Stormers are on, who will be the shining light for their team. And Sean Bartlett question, how much of pre-season wins you a game of this nature, giving the timing of it? Or is it going to come down to individual quality?
Yeah, pre-season is a foundation. It's also, for me, this game is still part of their preparation for the start of the league, but I think the pre-season will always give you an indication. And we know Stellenbosch obviously went to Johannesburg, played a few practice matches against Siwelele and Galaxy at altitude.
Ooh, mistake, Sage Stevens. I don't care where you train, altitude or inland. That one is a howler, almost really putting your side on the back foot, unnecessarily so. Maybe that's a sign of what Sean Butler speaks about, preparation to the rest of the season. Not match sharp as yet, and physically maybe not at full tilt. Here's Mujela. Mujela cannot combine. Sitol, he's added something since coming on. He's got that Athazwani build. And as well athleticism. And we saw just at the end of the game, the last 15 was Helter Skelter, was AmaZulu, and then it was Stellenbosch, and it was Stellenbosch. No, it's AmaZulu. Who's got how much left in the tank now? 15 apiece. Who's caught your eye, by the way, Sean? your man of the match candidates?
Ooh, man of the match is a tough one to call at the moment, but I think X10 has done really well for AmaZulu. Obviously, Devin Titus have pulled himself about for Stellenbosch.
I think
even
AmaZulu,
Keegan Allen has put his name in the hat.
John's gonna go as well. I think Allen and as well Sunny Limtetwa. We've had a few very good performances from AmaZulu players, particularly those that started the game, so that bodes well for the rest of the season. For Usutima Peshangoni. Remember, AmaZulu finished 6th in the last campaign with 35 points from 28 games. Finished in the top 8 for the first time since the 2021-22 season. That's X10. What he manages to do is to dirty his shirt further and catch the attention of referee Michael Musimeng. Titus looking to catch a second win. Mujela skips it. Tariq Fidis. Just, it's a toe win. Manja needs to be careful. Composure. 3 players.
Yeah, I think Mujela could see Phillies coming behind him. It's not something you want to go into a tackle with Phillies.
Flag is up against Mashiko. AmaZulu making their 5th appearance in MTN 8 in the PSL era, along with the 2009, 10, 12, 13, all the way to 2022, 23. The best finish in the MTN 8 in the PSL era, by the way. Came in the aforementioned 2022-23 season when they were runners-up to who else but Abompati Mastandi of MTN 8. And Orlando Pirates losing 1-0 in the final.
Well, it's something that both these teams have in common, isn't it? Stellenbosch lost the last season to Orlando Pirates. And I think the win that against AmaZulu was the start of the treble. Looking for the 4th one this season.
Khatebe. Still Khatebe. Oh, had to be on the stretch. Oloisane, how much of that did you know about Khatebe's also been another one? Got that burst of pace and willingness. Good pass by Mashiko. Mtaga should have done better. Got on the wrong side of him.
I think there's probably one of about 7 players who also looking at Phillies that's had an outstanding game.
A victory for AmaZulu will see them progress to the semi-finals. Although Wafa for a 3rd time. Well, for Athazwan is opposite number. Coach Steve Barker, he was eliminated in the quarterfinals of 22-23 as well as 23-24, so double despair for him. Took him to the last 4. Well, last season he was runner-up. He was at the helm of the University of Pretoria as well back in 2013-14 when they were eliminated in the quarterfinals, losing to your former team, Chiefs, Sean. So doesn't have great fond memories of MTN 8. Steve Barker. Is this the year? Gotta win the quarterfinals first in order to win the semi-final, chat. It starts here with Komocho Lekohuane. Palace. They just don't have that zip that they had in the opening half of football. Daga. Pitch continues as well to just get more and more chopped up as the game continues. Or would it be fair to say, Sean, I think the AmaZulu bench players have made more of a impact from, or as compared to Stellenbosch's ones, the likes of Mochela and Butaka.
No, without a doubt, there's been more positive impact from the AmaZulu substitutions. Obviously made a massive difference in them coming back.
And just to further add to Steve Barker's love-hate relationship with MTN 8, Stellenbosch are one of 6 sides in this season's MTN 8 that are yet to win the competition. There they are in terms of what they've done. And now for the men from the Winelands that want to squeeze more out of what you see at the bottom there. 2025 maybe just the year when the bridesmaid finally gets that major ring. Butaka. Palace maybe should have had a goal there. There was space out of him. Umtaga. AmaZulu very disciplined in their setup. Mutswari comes out. That was a definite foul.
That's got to be really careful, Motsware. It's already on a yellow card.
Yeah, I was going to say, memory serves me, he's already on a yellow card.
And he clearly stands, stood on the foot of Modrele. He said it didn't touch him.
I think he's got one more and then he's out of here. And come on in the second half, very late on. So no Sanele Barnes for this free kick. So that leaves a couple other options in Komojo, the Kwalane, as well as Lesibangu. I think the Kwalane is a man that's going to take this, judging by his body language. Or is it Nku? None should have taken it then, if you're going to produce that.
If you're going to take it, you've got to hit the target at least.
Especially in extra time, man.
Yeah. He didn't look very confident, did he?
Well, he doesn't look very confident either. Looks nervous more than anything. But he'll tell you something different. Like I said, very ambitious plan this season. Win a cup and finish in the top 4. I think that's the mandate for Presidente to 10-1-1. If the combos are going to be communicating, a clash of heads. Sees Muswari down but not out. Mtaga. Butaka doesn't opt to take X-Team down the line. There was space. Pace never really being Umani Butaka's speciality. But there was real space. Instead, he opted to put it back and shuffle it back into traffic. By the way, there's some real good football away from the likes of MTN 8 happening. By the way, can reliably tell you SuperSport is going to give you the Total Energies CAF Chan 2024 competition. Nice catch there by Mzimela, was straight at him. World of Champions bringing you the football loving public every thrilling moment of that competition, live from Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda. Tanzania on the winning start, by the way, yesterday, and coming to a climax on the 30th of August. And we spoke about the pitch here today and sort of the effect it's had in the game. Here's a story for you, Sean. I don't know if you caught it. Benny McCarthy taking his Kenyan side away from a friendly, not happy with playing conditions, according to former Bafana teammate, saying they're unsatisfactory.
Yeah, I know. Benny's got very high standards. And sometimes you've got to look after the safety of your players. But fortunately enough, that friendly didn't impact their start, obviously, to Chan. They managed to win the game against DR Congo, which is a good start for them.
David Titus is cramping and cramping badly. It sees reinforcements summoned off the bench in the Langelihle Pili. This game is made for him. Who Pili Zoba Pili Sana? That's the big question. He's such a talented player. Very creative, very explosive, short in stature. But searching for that key word that Sean mentioned earlier, consistency. Still quite young. Ow. Titus had to roll off the pitch. You know it's bad. I feel for him. And I mentioned his effect on the Stellenbosch side and playing in particular against AmaZulu. He loves scoring against Usu 20X Galaxy. That's the most amount of goals he scored against any top flight teams. But you're not going to score when you're struggling from cramp. Or are they giving him every opportunity now? His numbers up. Nangelihle Phili. Khatebe goes back post to Sitole. And they go out for goal kick. By the way, Bafana are also in Chan action, if you didn't know. Huge opportunity for Mulefinseki and his side. What do you make of Bafana's chances in the Chan?
Well, the interesting part about that squad is I think you've got about 11 players is unattached to a club. So I don't know where those players have been training and the fitness of these players. But we hope obviously that they can go and do well, because it's giving them opportunity for these 11 players even to put themselves on the map and find a club.
We get back to Bafana Odyssey. There was a substitute, by the way, for Osikwana Khatebe. Really played well. Highly impressed with his performance today. But he's low on fuel, much like Devin Titus, who's still, by the way, on the far left, still receiving treatment, struggling to get up back on all twos. Khatebe was replaced by Asanda Mzobe. He's in picture. No, it's looking like a groin issue for Titus. That's not good for one of their star players so early in the season. Want to hit the ground running, not roll off of it. Another minute to be added in the first half of extra time. Another way Sean mentioned, Bafana make up the likes of Tamsanga Masia. He's unattached. The way Tetron joins are unattached. You look at Zakelele Pass, unattached. Menzi Masuku, same story. So, how do you go deep in the tournament? That's a big question. All the best of luck. Group C, by the way, with domestic-based stars facing the likes of co-host Uganda, former AFCON champions Algeria, technically very gifted Guinea, and an experienced Niger. Back to the MTN 8 experience. Late on, fell in stages there, Mzobe. Like a sniper just took him up and then got back up on his feet. Mzobe, and remember he has to take a throw in as well.
Well, I think it's fortunate enough they managed to get a free kick awarded here from the initial foul on him.
I'll remind you, it was from a very fortunate free kick that one of the goals of the game was scored. Stellenbosch's second.
I don't think Coach Arthur want to see that again.
Hanamub. Devilish with the delivery is Hanamub. Just flashed across, and I think Osimkaba slashes it away for a corner. This will hurt if they're going to concede deep on an injury time. Derek Philly is posting himself in and around Sage Stevens. Please, I even forgot that Richard Ofori injury seems like a long time ago. Call is away. Two Stellenbosch players converge on it and painfully come to a collision there with Moloisani.
I think it's blown for half time as well.
Right, a painful ending for Stellenbosch, but will that be the case at the end of the second half as well? Two sides could not be separated in the first 16 minutes. Cue the next 15 and some. Getting consultation as El Presidente. I'm just thinking to myself as well, Sean, as the game continues to ebb on, penalties become even more difficult. More so in particular the first game, competitive game of the season, when the body and mind is not as in tip-top shape as it should be.
Yeah, I think that's always the interesting part, you know, and like people normally say, that's a bit of a lottery when it comes to penalties. But I think from a fitness point of view, even, is that concentration now for the second 15 minutes that's going to be needed. Fortunate thing for these two teams are that they've got 1 week to recover before the season starts. Obviously Stellenbosch will be hosting Kaizer Chiefs and AmaZulu Orbit College, so both will be having home games. They don't have to travel.
Exciting games, eh? Welcome Bokoni Bupirima's finest in Orbit College to the league. Well, Chiefs needs little to no introduction. What a way to kick off the season. You see the likes of Andy Swasitole. I've been intrigued to watch this encounter as it's given plenty of action, hard hits and flows as well, but we're yet to find that winner. Happy Women's Month, by the way, to all the ladies. When is it going to be Men's Month? But you know, it's a story for another day. Good to see you in good spirits. It's getting cold.
It's cold.
Yeah, it is cold. I feel for her. I really feel for her.
Once that sun goes down behind the mountain, my friend, it's cold.
And trust me, he's from here, he knows. Yeah, that's the way you battle the cold, and I'm still referring to the scarf.
Yeah.
There we go. World of Champions, creating stars on and off the pitch. Out Tafuga. Setivini. You know, looking at the faces of the Stellenbosch collective, I don't think I see too much confidence flowing from the stands. Everybody looks so pensive and very nervous. I understand it's the first game of the season, first competitive kick for ball in anger. It's understandable. A false start. And is it a false dawn for one of these sides, 78 dreams? Quite pleasantly surprised Hendrik Ekstein is still out there. He's running socks into the ground, literally. You just have to look at his shirt. And I think he's been that good that Coach Zwane is trusting him to find a winner. Go on and win it, son.
Well, he's already taken off Zungu. And I think Ekstein's intelligence, like I mentioned before, he's going to be important for them. He's almost playing as a false 9 at the moment.
I don't think I've seen him play false 9 too many times. So with Igadaro gone, that's going to be an interesting one to see how they sort of patch up their front line. And of course, by the way, Sunlance's game is soon to kick off. And straight after this one, and I'm sure they are watching wherever they're currently occupying the space. Oh, Michel. He also needs to be a bit careful. I think he's in the Ben Mutswari camp.
Yep.
He's had a couple of those niggly fouls. There he goes again. Thinks about it, but decides otherwise. Skips over the challenge. But also the ball skips out of play. Now the way AmaZulu's 4-3 win on penalties over SuperSport United back in the 09-10 season is the only penalty shootout that AmaZulu have been involved in the MTN 8. So if you're going on that record, it's not looking good, Sean, in terms of experience. But the past is the past in the here and now.
Well, exactly, and they've got a lot of new players part of the squad this season as well.
Pili, oh, he finds the winner potentially. I told you about Langelisha Pili. Piluyaba Pili, sir. From the bench and into the spotlight. Salute.
Yeah, what a strike that is. But if you're going to allow a right-footed player to come inside, you cannot do that. He's been looking for that since he's come on. I think he gave us a warning late in the first half of the extra time as well. The minute he gets that ball, there's one thing on his mind: I'm going to try and go inside. I'm going to try and go inside. And the minute he does that, obviously Mzimela is moving across, and he hits that at the near post and makes it very difficult for Mzimela to make a save.
As soon as he got the ball, we all knew what he was going to do, except the AmaZulu defense by the looks of it.
But the first principle of defense is you've got to force your opponent wide. If it's a right-footed player playing on the left, you've got to force him wide. Get yourself between the ball and the goal and delay. Try and get more support around you. It didn't work, and they gave Pili the time and space to do what he wanted to do. What a strike.
What a strike. He becomes the fourth different scorer in this game. Langelisha Pili. Was goalkeeper Oluwethu Mzimela capable there? Get Sean Bartlett's thoughts in earnest quickly. Here's Sitole looking to do his impression of Pili. Now here we go. It's gone up a notch. It's gone up in the wall. Nervous not so long ago.
Yeah.
Now they are thoroughly in full flight. This game really needed that. Again, I want to ask you the question, because the two goals I've seen him concede, he's ended up twice inside his own net, which is looking strange for me. Shouldn't it be closer to where the ball is rather than inside the net?
Because Pili ran across the goal, you've got to shift as a goalkeeper. My only question is, can he move his feet a little bit faster? That's probably why he couldn't get to the ball, or why he finds himself in his own goal. He's got to move his feet a little bit faster in order to get to the ball.
Another way for young Langelisha Pili, who is an under-20 international from Kalinyama. He scores his first MTN 8 goal in his second appearance. Only got 5 minutes of experience in this competition previously, when he played against Orlando Pirates in a 3-1 loss, of course, in that now famous final win for Iskama Kepula. AmaZulu need to do it all over again, by the way, now. What is still left in the tank? Back to goal for Komocho Gulani. Now, as a coach, Coach Sean, what is going through the mind of Arthur Zwane? He's thinking to himself, we've trailed, we've come back, we've trailed, we've come back, we're trailing yet again. How do we come back? It's 3 a lucky charm.
Well, like we've spoken, the players that is brought onto the field, the substitutions, they've got to show that same desire now. theoretically still another 10 minutes to go, another 8, maybe 9 minutes to go. So there's enough time. They've got to use obviously the way they got back, the speed of Mashego, Sithole, and Extent's intelligence. You know, he's got to find those spaces again in order to set up his attacking players.
Ironically, I think when they had their best patch, Mashego was playing through the middle, Sithole from the right and Extent from the left. And that kind of saw them gain some dominance, but they've changed it up. It's now Extent through the middle, Mashego through the right and Sithole on the left. Not always, but that's been the general sort of formation and position of the players. Maybe that old saying should be reminded to the staff. If it ain't broken, you know the rest. And again, he knows far more than me. Superior footballing mind. No, they like that. They will celebrate any little thing right now.
We've got another 8 balls around the field.
That's not the point, Short. That's not the point. Well, the way the Sundowns and Richards Bay line up, the quarterfinal lineups have been released. The likes of Salim Makula standing in between the goals for Abafana Basepe. Alessane Villarasi also is in the mix. Yabonga Nzama as well as Moses Mtembu, just to name a few. For Bafana Bagantlela. When Williams is in between goals. Speaking of goals, yes, it all. Sage Stevens. A lucky man.
Right when you needed him, in the right place at the right time.
They still carry that threat, whether you like it or not. They still carry that threat through Sithole and Mashego. I think there's going to be a handful for many teams this season. Question is, can they keep the back door shut and control that midfield while doing so? You look at the Downs team, Sean, not too many new faces. In fact, it's the same team that pretty much played the Club World Cup. Ikram Reynas is there, Arthur Salez is there, Temba Zwanumshi Shukona, Marcelo Allende, Teboho Mukwena, etc., etc. Who do you tip to win that game, by the way?
Like I've said, consistency and Sundowns go in the same sentence.
Oh, Sean, you're not going to give us a shocking scoreline there. Make it interesting. We like drama. Here's Phillies. As well as Keegan Allen. And a good point that somebody raises. Sundowns not a very good starters. But they finish quite well when the medals are being handed out.
Who's your somebody? Who's your source?
I'll give credit to where credit is due. I'll give it to our director. I'll give her that one.
Yeah. But yeah, let's be honest. When is the last time Sundowns won the MTN 8?
Extremely long time.
This is a tournament.
This is the tournament.
Yeah.
Yes, this is
a
tournament that
has
seems to
just
slip through their fingers. Some may say CAF as well. Yep. There's a competition that seems to elude them. There they are. My question, are you going to watch the Sundowns game if you're here? On your phone, I guess. There we go. Pirates, Pirates, Pirates. Sundowns, Pirates. And Super Sports United. To answer you emphatically, 2021-22. Bomber 4 years back now, shortly. MTN 8 is basically Orlando Pirates' trophy.
It has been for the last 3 years. It has been, yeah.
Yellow card for debutant Keegan Allen. He's done it all. Goal, really good performance. He seems to going to finish the game as well. And for Stellenbosch, Siviwe Nkwali, formerly of Cape Town Spurs, is to get his first taste as a Stellenbosch player and the bright lights of the DHL Stadium and the big stage of the MTN 8. That tackle had to be made, and it was, but at what cost for Atenko Simkaba? I think he's playing on fumes. Mkaba is barely able to walk properly.
He's hitting his foot into the ground to get rid of the cramps.
As the ball came his side, he said, please don't make me run, please don't make me run.
It's tough on the body. Your first game, competitive game, and you go into extra time. Then Mdaka also. I'm sure we're going to see Nkwale possibly making his way.
And indeed, we're going to see a late debut for young Siviwe Nkwali coming on for Muchela of all players. All right, they replacing the replacement. Anyway, not much time now remaining in this MTN 8 quarterfinal clash. In the second half of extra time, Tarek Phillips lifts one over the Stellenbosch defense, but a very tired looking Hendrik Ekstien cannot bounce. Is that for Lesotho?
We're probably looking at another 2 minute extra time here besides the minute remaining. Phillies have pushed up front now, trying to win all the aerial duels.
Not a little too late.
You never know.
You never know, indeed.
You never know.
That's how this game is gone. That's when you think one team is on the ascendancy, the other one pulls them back. Another man that just came on, 20 years young, if you've never heard of him, born out of Cape Town. Under 20 international cap 7 times. And Siviwe Nkwali playing in his first ever MTN 8 game. Has played 45 minutes in another cup competition, that being Nedbank Cup, but never in an MTN 8. He has now coming on for Mojela. That's regulation time. Quick look at the board. 2 minutes. Called it perfectly, Sean Bartlett. What would happen if AmaZulu got an equalizer anywhere will do for Mkaba?
Not when the ball spends 90% of the time in the air. Mkaba is making sure he's just clearing his lines. Don't let them get anywhere close to our goals.
Back to sender. That's what it is there from Atenko Simkaba. Into the last minute. Here's Mashiko, who's toiled so hard. Deserves something out of this game, the youngster. Rian Hanamub can barely run. He will pick up the ball as well. This is a real workout for these 22 players. Keegan Allen flings himself into it in desperation. Calls off a foul. Mashiko blasted and
the referee's got to
takes
stop the
out
game.
Tarek Phillips. Oh, he's gonna get up. I'm telling you, he's not gonna stay down.
Well, the unfortunate thing is he's going to have to go off if he gets treatment.
That's the definition of shaking it off. Yeah, I told you, he didn't even want any medical assistance. I'm okay, man. Let's move. Is that a handshake that, well, seals the deal and admits defeat? Hanamuk, surely this has to be the moment, has to be now. Ngaba on one leg and all. Pili, the goal scorer. All headlines are going to be about perfect Pili. The pass is on to the left-hand side for Hanamub, who creeps in. Keegan Allen can turn to a double hero. Clips the ball too much. And that will probably be the end of AmaZulu's MTN8 dreams. And those dreams by President Zungu saying a cup run deep into the next of the MTN8 and the top 4 finish would be a good season. I wonder, does it mean now they have to rejig the KPIs?
And this is probably the one cup. You know, you play 4 games in order to win it. You've got to give your all and see how you can get there.
Oh, beautiful touch. Oh, almost a reverse pass of note that from Komocho. And referee Michael Musimeng says, AmaZulu, you have been defeated. Steve Barker got that ace up his sleeve and he threw it on the table and it came right up Pili through Langelihle Pili shot Bartlett.
Oh, we spoke about the impact players coming off the bench, and Stellenbosch obviously got it in Pili. Ashiko tried, Shitole tried for AmaZulu, but Pili is the difference at this particular game. They allowed him the time and space to go inside and take the strike, and he make full